Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for coming back here today. As always, it is greatly appreciated. I'm outside today because it is an absolutely beautiful day out, and I love being outside. The more I can be outside, the more sun I can get, the better. Today, the knife we're going to take a look at is the Knives Banter. Now, I think I showed this in another video, but I think I promised I would do a full video dedicated to this knife, and I think it deserves it because this is one of my favorite knives in my collection, and I feel like I say that a lot, but this is a knife that I've carried so many times, and just I can't even count. I don't even know how long I've had it. I think I've had it for about 3 or 4 years, and it's just been such a joy to own and use, and I think a lot of it pretty much has to do with the knife's design. And so I want to talk about the design first. Usually I talk about the materials, and I run through and tell you guys what the materials are for the knife and talk a little bit about its features. However, in this particular case, I'm going to go right to talking about the knife design, because I feel like that's what should be highlighted with this knife. This knife was designed by a guy named Ben Peterson. He's pretty well known in the EDC community and the knife community. He used to work for Blade HQ, which is a knife retailer, very large knife retailer, very popular. But he co-hosted a show called Knife Banter there, and he was like doing marketing for them. And that's kind of how he got his name out there. And then he went into knife design, and I think he started his own company called Knives. One of his models, popular models, is called the Knives Lander, which is really cool. I kind of like to get my hands on one of those, but I have this guy, so I mean, I don't know if I ever will. But anyway, the knife is called the Banter, because I believe because of his show, Blade HQ's show called Knife Banter. Anyway, that's enough about the guy. He seems like a really cool guy. A lot of people really like him in the industry, so go check him out. Just type in Ben Peterson in Google or something, and you'll find him. But anyway, this is the very first knife design that he did, that he brought to market, and it's called the Banter. And I absolutely love this knife. I carry it a ton, and the reason is because it's so good. It's such a functionally just practical tool. And as you can see when you take a look at it, I mean, it's not really complicated, right? I mean, it looks like a knife. Yeah, the handle kind of reminds me of like an old steak knife or something like that. It's very blocky, very simple. There's not a whole lot going on ergonomically with this handle, and as a result of this knife's simplicity, it functions amazingly well. I mean, it just fits so damn good in the hand. I mean, you take a look at the handle and you think, how is that going to be comfortable? I mean, at least that's kind of what I thought. But then you get it in hand, and I mean, it melts into your hand. It's like the perfect, it feels so damn good in the hand. And which is amazing because this is just so simple, right? You know, it's very, very neutral, so it's probably going to fit most people's hands, no problem. And it fills out the hand so nicely. And I think that has a lot to do with this width. It's very wide, but it's not actually very thick. I would say it's standard thickness, you know, kind of neutral, and it feels fantastic in the hand. So the ergos are really, really nice. The blade, this blade is so freaking good, and I've used it for all kinds of things: food prep, any type of EDC task that you come along during the day, whether it's cardboard, paper, plastic, cordage, you name it, this blade is going to handle it no problem. And this blade design, man, I mean, I want to call it a spear point because I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it may be a perfect spear. I haven't measured it, but it looks like a spear point to me. You want to call it a drop point, I suppose you can call it that as well. But it's such a wide, just a nice wide blade. It's 2.9 inches, so it's just under the 3-inch legal limit in many areas. I think that might have been done on purpose by Ben. Also, I think Ben really likes that 3-inch blade. I think that's his favorite in terms of length. And to be honest with you, for an EDC knife, it's almost perfect, at least for me. And because this blade is so damn wide, you take a look at that blade stock, and it's not really that thin. However, because it's so wide, you can get this really tall flat grind, and there's plenty of room to taper. And as a result, you get an extremely fine edge here. I mean, this thing is super sharp. I mean, I stropped it. I haven't sharpened this yet, but I have stropped it a bunch of times. And it's amazingly sharp, and it's so thin behind the edge. It's a fantastic slicer. So if you like slicing, this is just a great blade. I mean, and it's just such a classically neutral blade, right? I mean, it looks like a knife, right? This is the kind of knife blade that you would have seen, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, going all the way back. You're going to find this shape in history. And that's because it's damn good. And I absolutely love it. And I love how this knife actually looks. It's extremely simple, guys, but to me, it's friggin' awesome. And you got a little bit of jimping here. The jimping is kind of in a weird spot because this is normally how I hold this, so I would have appreciated the jimping over here as opposed to over here, but it works over there. It's not really a big deal. It doesn't really matter to me. Just mentioning it because some people may care about that kind of thing. And you got, oh my God, this blade, guys. It's just so damn useful. And you take a look at this knife too, and it's not very threatening. I think that's one thing that Ben had put a lot of thought into, is it kind of looks playful. It looks kind of toyish with the color and the design. I think he was going for a less intimidating look on a knife, and he nailed it. But besides that, I mean, it's a fantastic tool. And that's why it ends up in my pocket so much. I carry this to the office, at home, around, anywhere I go. It's just amazing. It carries so nicely in the pocket because of that deep pocket carry clip, which is done very, very well. You can see it's very deep pocket carry. The mount and the screws are inset into the G10, so you don't end up getting caught there. A lot of thought went into this clip, and it's, I would say, one of the most perfect pocket clips I have ever seen. What else we got going on here? Blade steel S35VN. It's an amazing pocket knife steel. Yeah, you can get better than it, but it's been around for a really long time. It's a powder metallurgy steel by Crucible, so it's a U.S. steel. This knife is made in China by Knives, but is probably one of the best manufacturers of production knives in the world. Their quality, fit, and finish is amazing. If you don't have a problem buying imports, you're gonna absolutely love this knife because of how well it's built and put together, and the tolerances. I mean, this is a really good tool. And the other thing that's fantastic about this knife is the action. I mean, this thing flies open. I think it's on bearings, cage bearing system. It's just an amazing action. I mean, you can even middle finger flick this thing, no problem. It just, oh, of course I can't do it. There we go. Middle finger flick this thing, no problem if that's what you like. But you got dual thumb studs. It is not ambidextrous on the deep pocket carry clip. So right hand side carry only. Sorry, lefties. But yes, fantastic knife, guys. This is highly recommended by me, and I do mean that like with the highest regards, because this is just such a great tool. And it's all in the design. It really is. If you don't like this design aesthetic, maybe you're not gonna like this knife, but I like the design, and I love the way it handles and functions, and to me that's extremely important. I don't want a knife that looks cool but doesn't function very well. for me, this looks cool and functions well. So it's definitely a keeper. As you can, I've not gotten rid of it. I've culled my collection down pretty significantly, and this has stayed with me ever since. That is his Ben Peterson's design logo, and you can see there S35VN. One more thing I want to mention before I end the video, a couple more things. This thing is a liner lock, and take a look at how they did this liner lock. All right, the liner lock itself is very, very long. It's got that deep, aggressive jimping. So if you look at the knife from the side here, there's no cutout for the liner lock access. So you would think it would be difficult to use and manage. However, it is extremely easy because of how this liner just barely sits above and is so big and long and has this deep jimping that there's absolutely no way to struggle operating this knife one hand. I mean, it is just so easy to do. So kudos to Ben there. The execution of this liner lock is just awesome. It's kind of a pain in the butt when you get a knife that is such a great knife, and you know, it's almost like the access to the liner lock becomes an afterthought, and then it's very difficult to operate, or maybe not very difficult, but a pain in the ass. That's not the case with this knife, and it's one of the things that just makes it so damn good and easy to use. And the action, and this is one of the things, man, this knife has such an amazing action. I mean, I just freaking love it. All right, that is it for me. Thank you so much, guys, for coming by. Leave a like, subscribe, leave comments if you like the wee banter. I absolutely love it. Oh, one more thing. I just learned today, at least when I went on Blade HQ, that they discontinued this version of the banter. So I don't know if they're coming out with other versions, but the Ben Blue one, they call it Ben Blue because this is Ben's favorite color. I believe, at least on Blade HQ, it's shown as discontinued, and they don't have this one in stock. There is another one in stock at Blade HQ. I'll put a link down below. As the time of the filming of this video, it is in stock, and they're selling it for, I think, like 95 bucks, which is a fantastic deal because these usually run around $108. So not super expensive, but not particularly cheap either. I would say this is sort of a mid-range knife because it's above $75, and my criteria for budget knives is any knife that is under 75 bucks is considered a budget knife for me. So this is 108 bucks. You still should be able to find this knife though, even though it's not in stock at Blade HQ, at many different retailers because it's so damn popular. You just hop on eBay or something like that and you'll find one. Thanks, guys. Have a very good day, and until next time, stay safe. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.